Hello everybody and welcome to another yoga follow along video. Today will be a full body flow and we'll start on our mat in a kneeling position, drawing our attention to our breath. Feel free to close your eyes here or lower your gaze down towards your mat. Palms can be resting on the legs. Letting go of any stress or tension you may be experiencing today. Imagine it floating away. And from our kneeling position, we'll come onto all fours in tabletop pose. And from our tabletop position, we'll flow through our dynamic cat and cow pose, arching the spine, pushing into the palms of the hands, and then dipping the belly, reaching the gaze up towards the sky. Flowing at your own pace, really working on warming up that spine. Flowing with each inhale and exhale. And then coming back to our tabletop position, we'll prepare for balancing tabletop, extending our left arm forward and our right leg behind us, finding balance and stability here. Squeeze the core, and then you can lower your left arm and right leg back down to the mat. We'll do the same thing on the other side, extending our right arm now and our left leg behind us. Breathing here, feeling stable in that left hand and right knee. And you can lower the right hand back down to the mat as well as the left leg. And in our tabletop position, we can bring the hips forward and back, warming up the hips as well as the wrist. And then coming back to our kneeling thunderbolt position, coming up onto our knees to come into a high kneeling pose. And we're going to do a gentle back bend stretch here, tucking your toes. You're going to grab your ankles if available for you. And then driving the hips forward, we're going to gently bend back with our gaze up towards the sky, making sure that your back and your neck feel supported. If you feel any pain in this pose, just come out of it with no judgment. Most important thing is to listen to our body. And to come out of it, place your hands on your back to slowly come back up and forward into our tabletop position. From here, we'll flow into our downward facing dog. Strong arms and legs here. You can even pedal the legs if that feels comfortable, alternating which heel touches down on the mat. And from our downward facing dog, we'll walk the hands and feet together, coming into a standing forward fold, reaching for your toes, the mat. You can even reach for your shins or knees. If you can't yet reach the mat, that's totally fine. Making sure we don't feel any pain or discomfort in the back. The stretch should be only in the back of the legs, the hamstrings. Wherever you are in your standing forward fold, we're going to flow up, coming into our standing mountain pose. Take a moment to reset here. Take a deep breath before extending your arms up towards the sky, reaching tall, and then coming back into a standing forward fold. Halfway lift, gazes up, fold back to your standing forward fold. Then we'll come into a high plank position, squeeze your core, And then lower yourself down and up into upward facing dog. Strong arms here. And then bring the hips back into downward facing dog. From here, walk the hands and feet back together, coming into your halfway lift, and then folding fully into your standing forward fold. And then flowing up into our extended standing mountain pose before bringing our hands down to heart center. We'll repeat that sequence, extending the arms up towards the sky, and then folding forward deeply. Come into your halfway lift, gazes up, and then we'll come to our plank position. Bending the elbows, flow into your upward facing dog, pressing into the palms of the hands, and then drive the hips back, coming into your downward facing dog. Strong arms and legs here, and then step the feet and hands together, halfway lift, full forward fold, breathe here, and then flow back up, lifting the torso and spine, arms extended up high, and then back down to heart center. Once again, we will bring the arms up towards the sky in our extended standing mountain pose, and then bend the knees, coming into chair pose. From chair pose, we'll flow into our standing forward fold, straighten the knees, lift the gaze in our halfway lift, and then fold forward deeply again before transitioning into our high plank position. From here, we're going to step our left foot forward, and we'll come into a high lunge. Strong legs here. Do your best to maintain that bend in the left knee. Right leg is straight out behind you. And then to come out of it, come back to your high plank. And now we'll step the right foot forward. Coming into our high lunge on the other side. Arms extend up. Find your gazing point to help you balance. Inhale here, and exhale, the arms come back down. Come back to your high plank pose. Lower down and then up into your upward facing dog before driving the hips back into your downward facing dog. From our downward dog, we'll walk the hands and feet together. Gaze is lifted. Folding forward deeply once again. Bending the knees, coming into our chair pose, hands at heart center. Before straightening the knees, coming into our extended standing mountain. And then hands lower down back to heart center. We'll repeat this sequence once more. Extend the arms up towards the sky, nice and tall. Come down to your chair pose, strong legs, flowing into our standing forward fold, into our halfway lift, and then coming into our high plank pose. Once again, we'll step the left foot forward, preparing for our high lunge. Arms are lifted. Right leg is extended and strong out behind you. Left knee is bent. And then come out of the pose, reset in high plank, and then step the right foot forward. Now the bend will be in the right knee. Left leg is extended and strong out behind you. Arms are up and overhead. And just as before, we'll come back to our high plank position before bending the elbows to come into our upward facing dog. Press into the palms, reach the chest and gaze up, and then bring the hips back into our downward facing dog. Breathe here, and then step the hands and feet together, coming into halfway lift, and then into our standing forward fold. And from our standing forward fold, we're going to come into our chair pose. Bending the knees, feeling the strength in the legs, and then flow into our extended standing mountain, bringing our hands down to heart center. So now we're going to face the long side of our mat to prepare for a wide-legged forward fold. So you're going to want to step your feet further apart, a comfortable distance. Reach the arms up tall, and then fold forward, reaching your hands down to the mat. To make the pose easier, shorten your stance by bringing your feet closer together. And then to make the pose more difficult, you just widen your stance by bringing your feet further apart. If available for you, you can even bring your elbows and arms down to the mat. But listen to your body. And then we're going to walk our hands over to the left side, still in our wide-legged position. Breathing deeply here. Feel a nice stretch in the side body. Inhale here. And exhale, we're going to walk our hands all the way over to the opposite side. Right leg, still in our wide-legged stance. Breathing deeply. And then walking our hands back to center. Fold into your wide-legged forward fold once more. And then from here, we're going to alternate side lunges, alternating the bent knee, really opening up the hips, stretching the legs here, flowing at your own pace, listening to your body. If this is too difficult, you can just hold the wide-legged forward fold. That's totally fine. But wherever you are, we're going to step the feet back together, coming into our regular standing forward fold. Deep release in the back of the legs here. And then slowly we'll rise back up, coming into our standing mountain pose. From here, we'll practice tree pose, taking our right foot and bringing it to the inside of our left leg. I find it helpful to find one point in front of you, or maybe down on the floor or mat. Focus on that point. That'll be your gazing point. That'll help you balance. Breathe here. And slowly release on your next exhale. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Now we'll take the left foot and place it on the right inner thigh. Hands at heart center. Here. If you fall out of the pose, that's totally fine. It's very normal. Just come back into the pose with no judgment towards yourself. This can be a very difficult posture. And on your next exhale, we'll come out of the pose, lowering the foot back down to the mat. From here, we'll extend the arms up towards the sky, coming into a slight back bend before folding forward to our standing forward fold, reaching for the toes, maybe the backs of the ankles if available. You can even grab opposite elbows and sway from side to side, whatever feels best for you today. And then from our standing forward fold, we'll walk the hands and feet away from one another, coming into our downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg, coming into our one-legged dog. Strong arms here. Use that right leg to support you before lowering the left foot back down to the mat. Do the same thing on the other side. Lift that right leg up towards the sky. And then lower it back down to the mat, coming back to our downward facing dog. Bringing the hips forward, resting them on the mat. Coming into our cobra pose, press into the palms of the hands. Reaching your gaze up towards the sky and opening your chest and heart. And then slowly with control, bring your hips back, resting them on your legs. Arms extended out in front of you in our extended child's pose. Take a moment here to reset. Slow down your breathing. And on your next exhale, walk your hands in towards you, coming into our kneeling thunderbolt pose. And then from here, we'll bring the legs forward and out in front of us, coming into our seated staff pose. Arms extend up high and then fold forward in our seated head to knee pose, reaching for the toes, the feet, even the shins or the knees are just fine. Breathing deeply before coming out of the fold and coming to the front of our mat, placing the soles of the feet together in bound angle pose. Really opening up the hips here. And then we're going to walk ourselves down, using our hands and arms as support to rest and relax our back down fully on the mat. With our legs still in that bound angle position, arms can extend up and out behind you, extended by your ears. If you feel any discomfort in the bound angle position of the legs, feel free to draw the knees in towards one another. But do your best to maintain that bound angle position, opening up the legs and hips. And on your next exhale, you can take your hands and guide your legs back together, feet planted on the mat. And then we'll draw the knees in towards the chest, wrapping our arms around the shins. Feel free to roll the ankles from side to side, clockwise and counterclockwise. And then extend your arms out by your sides in a T position, relaxing the knees down to the left and your gaze to the right. Feeling a deep twist in the torso here. And then your next exhale, bring your knees back to center for a moment before relaxing both knees down to the right and your gaze to the left. One more deep breath, inhale, and exhale. You can bring the knees back to center, wrapping the arms around the shins once again, coming into one last double knee hug. Give yourself a big squeeze before relaxing both legs down fully on the mat. You can even relax both of your arms down by your sides, coming into our final relaxation pose, Savasana. Use this time to fully relax and allow your body to recover and benefit from today's practice. Imagine any remaining discomfort, stress, just floating away, slowly leaving you. Even relax your breath, not feeling a need to pay such close attention to its inhales and exhales, just breathing however feels normally for you. Thank yourself for doing something that's so good for your body, your heart, and your mind. Feel free to stay here lying and relaxing in Shavasana for as long as you like. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.